great Monday and welcome to the Coach Show, where women life and business coaches come to be educated, equipped, and empowered to coach with confidence and lead with transformational power. Join me, Coach P, right here on the Life and Business Coach campus every Monday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time to package your brilliance, optimize your performance, and bring harmony to your life. Well, hello. Welcome. I'm so excited to be back. It's been a minute, y'all. It's been a minute. You know, for years, I was going live every single week. And so I've been doing a lot of replays. Why? Because life has been lifing. Has life been lifing for anybody out there? Well, life has definitely been lifing for me. And so I'm excited. I'm a little nervous right now because it's been a minute operating all this technology, right? So come on in the room because guess what? I want to talk to you today. I want to talk to you about how life's, right? And how you got to do something and how to find strength when you feel stuck. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. So who am I, first of all, for those of you who may or may not know who I am Coach Pamela Lue-Hing, and we empower those coaches who feel stuck, who feel like, I just don't know how to put all these millions of pieces together. You know how much information it is out there, right? How do I put all of this together to create a cohesive, strategic business, right? How do I move from coach to CEO? How do I build my machine? How do I take advantage of this $350 billion industry out here? So that's what we do. We have a one-stop shop. So that's what we do. That's what I've been doing, actually, over, for the time I've been gone, and I've been doing replays and things like that. I've really been focused on servicing our clients. We have an academy. It's the Coach with Confidence Online Academy. And we have a membership, Next Level Mastermind membership. And so we have been training, we have been developing, we have been helping those coaches become stronger coaches, build their programs, launch their programs, to become also authors and speakers, and to really build their engine. And so that's what we've been doing. But again, I wanted to come to you today because I wanted to just re-engage. It's been lonely here. What's been happening in my world, y'all? What's been happening? Well, lots been happening in my world. And, have you ever had a moment where life reminds you that you just can't sit in what's happening? You got to do something, right? Have you ever had that? Well, as many of you may or may not know, I care for my mom, and she's in hospice comfort care. She's here at home with me, and she's in the other room as I'm here in my office. And so she can't move or feed herself anymore. And God has blessed me with such an incredible honor to be able to be her hands, to be able to be her feet, and to be her voice. And so I'm thankful for that. Her voice is very faint now, and it's very difficult to understand what she's saying. She still knows who I am. She can still converse, right? Hello there, Martin. Thank you for joining. And so I'm thankful. I am thankful that I have a business whereby I can be in one room, my mother's in the next, and I can be in the middle of working and then get up and go in and check on her and take care of her. And it's just a blessing, right? So what I want to share is this. There was one day in particular where I was turning my mom, and she did a motion that she had not done that in a long time, and exhibited strength. But she reached for the side rail on her hospital bed. And I said to her, look at mommy. She's so strong. And in that moment, she said it loud and clear. Gotta do something. Now here's a woman that cannot get out of the bed. Mommy is now 86 pounds. She's still strong though. Her spirit is strong. She's not on any medication. We've been working, with all the natural, I do a lot of natural things. I study a lot, read a lot, do a lot in that area. And I praise God for that, right? Blood pressure remaining steady. At one time, mommy was on 22 medications and supplements and so on and so forth. So I'm thankful. So the only challenge we just have a couple of challenges, but hey, I'm thankful, right? But when mommy said, gotta do something, in that moment, it's just like the Lord just spoke to my heart, because on that particular day, I was having a rough day, right? It was very, very rough. And when mama said that, the atmosphere began to shift. And in that moment, that really changed me. Because even in her weakest moment, mama reminded me that, and all of us really, as I remind you today, that doing something is an act of strength, faith, and purpose, right? And so I drew my strength from that moment. My faith began to increase, and I realized that this is my purpose right now. We have many purposes in this lifetime, I truly believe, callings, purposes, and this is my role in this season, and I'm honored for this role, but it gets tiring. It does. But when mama exhibited that strength, it did something for my spirit, and I'm so thankful. So I wanted to come to you today and I want to share three things with you. And the first thing is, even when you can't do anything, do something. Let me say it again. Go ahead and write it down. Even when you can't do everything, do something. Action is truly the antidote for feeling powerless. And there are some days I feel absolutely powerless. But then God reminds me of that move that my mama made. Gotta do something. And in that moment, when I'm feeling at my wit's end, I remember that. And it just pushes me to keep going, right? And so that's the very first thing. Again, takeaway number one is, even when you can't do everything, do something, whatever that might be, no matter how small the action. Just as a mommy grabbed that rail, it seemed like a small action, but it was symbolic of determination. Mama showed that she was still here. She's still in the game. She's still doing what she can do. As limited as it may be, it doesn't matter that it's limited. The only thing that mattered in that moment is that she was exhibiting her determination. And, we got to apply this to life. Sometimes you can't fix it all. I can't fix it all, y'all. I can't fix the situation, but I pray through it and I do something. We can take one step at a time. So are you going through something right now? If you are, I want to encourage you to take one step at a time. Make one phone call. Speak one prayer. And stop waiting for the perfect conditions, because as we see, there's no perfection. There's no perfect conditions. Even in uncertainty, do something that moves you closer to peace, purpose, and progress. Peace, purpose, and progress. And that's really what it's all about. So I want to encourage you, I want you to think about what's one small thing, one small thing you've been putting off because you feel overwhelmed. Is it picking up that phone to make that phone call to that potential client? Is it sitting down to really just think about, this is the end of 2025, right? We're approaching the end. So what is it that I need to do to finish strong? And then what is it that I need to do to go into 2026? Just one small thing, right? One small thing that you've been putting off and you're feeling overwhelmed about. I need you to tackle that one thing today. Like mama said, got to do something, right? So that is number one. And again, we are live on several platforms today. So y'all bear with me as I am multitasking and getting back into that groove of things, right? Getting back into the groove. And I see some people here. Hello there, Coach Wilbert. Awesome. And he says, Pam, I heard these words 3 weeks ago. Wow. You have to do something. Thank you so much, Will. Will and I went to grade school together, y'all. grade school. Can y'all imagine, right? And he is a coach as well. And thank you for that. Yes. And mama said, now you have to do something. She said, gotta do something. That's it. GOTTA, gotta do something. Just something. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Will. And so, again, takeaway number one is even when you can't do everything, do something, right? That's number one. Let's go on to number two. Bear with me. Again, I am multitasking on this side. We are streaming live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. And then I have the nerve to have Instagram on my phone, y'all. There's a lot of nerve after not going live in quite some time, okay? So, number two. Let me get to number two. Number two is strength isn't loud. It's in the silent fight. Strength isn't loud. It's in the silent fight. You know, when I think about that, what I think about is that true strength shows up when no one's watching. So it's just me here in my office, me here taking care of my mom all by myself, right? And we have the blessing of having a wonderful team with hospice. The nurse was here today, and she comes in once a week or twice a week to check in on mommy, and she even check in on me. And then we have a CNA that comes to bathe mommy in the bed a couple times a week, which is a blessing, huge blessing. I don't know where I would be without them. But my strength is being built in silence. It really is. That's why I've taken a moment away from social media. People ask, where you been, Pam? Where you been, right? I'm like, I got to get back in the game, because not only do I have something to share with you, but I need it probably more than you need it. You know, and I feel, and personally right now with where we are, the climate of this country, I really feel like anyone who has a platform, we all have access to a platform. We have a phone, right? You got social media platform. We all have the responsibility to encourage and uplift however we can, whatever, you know, God is calling you to do, share, but we all have that responsibility to utilize this space responsibly and be an encourager to people, because people are going through, y'all, right? So, you know, as my mom again reached for that rail in that small, faint voice, her determination spoke louder than any words. Just in that movement, that quick movement that I hadn't seen in a very long time from her. It happened in that quick moment. And, you know, if we connect to what's happened today, the climate in this country, you know, there's fear, there's uncertainty, there's chaos, isn't there? And we may feel voiceless, but our actions will speak. You taking to your platform, going live, being nervous like I am right now, and going live, right? Just these small actions. Somebody's going to be watching this. This is going to encourage their hearts. And I've done my job, right? Whether you're a coach or not, entrepreneur or not, you have a career. Maybe you've been downsized. Maybe you need this today. You got to do something, right? So you might not shout from a stage right now. Maybe the rug has been pulled from underneath you, but your faith, your discipline, and your consistency is what's going to pull you through. Now that's strength in motion, right? So let me say it again, your faith, your discipline, and your consistency. We got to be consistent. So I am putting it out there today that I got to get back to my at least once a week. I think I'm enjoying this, so it may even be tomorrow. But I'm gonna promise 1 week that I'm going to go live, right? I'm going to connect with you and share what God puts on my heart to share. And so the question I have for you here with takeaway number 2 is, where are you being called to stand strong quietly? Where are you called to stand strong quietly? Is it in the moments of adversity when all is against you and you can do nothing but stand? But stand strong, exercise your faith, do what you can do, and be consistent in that doing. So maybe it looks like going to work out. Maybe that's what it looks like. And I have recommitted, been doing this for several months, just working out. I have to get up, I have to move my body. And what you find is that it works the mind too. It doesn't just work the body. And that's the blessing, of working out, right? It is the blessing of working out. And so what can you do? What can you do? And what can you do consistently to make a part of your routine each and every day? Especially if you're feeling like the walls are closing in, that there's nothing that you really can do. You feel like your hands are tied. You feel like, woe is me. You're feeling like, am I the only one going through? Nope, you're not the only one. I think all of us are feeling what's happening out here in this world, in this United States of America, what's happening. We're all feeling it, right? But it doesn't mean that we have to be a part of it all. Now, what do I mean by that? We can choose what we watch. We can choose what we consume. And we are at a critical time where we've got to guard our gates. Got to stand guard at the gates. What do I mean by that? That means that if you don't need to watch the news, don't watch the news. I don't watch the news. Now I have ways of keeping up with certain things, but I don't allow it to consume me every single day, right? I watch what my eyes see, what my eyes take in, what I'm listening to, what I'm speaking, and then who I allow to speak to me, right? So we've got to guard our gates. Guard our gates, all right? So again, where are you being called to stand strong quietly? Where are you being called? So feel free to journal, right? Journaling is so good. It's so therapeutic. My very first book 10 years ago, I've had 10 publications now, but that very first book, that's how my book was born. It was out of journaling, right? So that was number 2. And number 2 was strength isn't loud. It's in the silent fight. That silent fight when you don't feel like it, but you got to get up and do it anyway. Why? Because you're committed to it. You're committed to putting one foot in front of the other. Now, takeaway number 3 is, and this is the final takeaway for today, you control the direction of your life. You control it. Nobody else but you. And God is so awesome that he gave us complete control over what our decisions, right? He gave us complete control over our decisions. So what are you choosing to do with your life? And if you don't decide, life will decide for you. It really will. So there has to be a decision made. Don't you want to be in the driver's seat of the decision? Is my question to you. And again, when we think about what's happening today and all these uncertainties, this is the season of uncertainties, right? So we can't control everything, right? But we can control how we respond, how we interact, how we engage. We can choose to build, to heal, to prepare, and to lead. So if you're in a season where your back is up against the wall and you've been, emotionally, there's been trauma, there's, some disappointments, there's some fear. There's some healing that needs to take place. And as you're healing, you've got to decide how you're going to be moving, how you're going to protect your gates, how you're going to build. Because once we are in this healing process, as part of the healing process, you got to start building, even while you're hurting, even through the pain. As I shared, my mama, she just reached over. Mind you, she's not moving her arms around. I have to physically move her body, every part of her body, to exercise her body. But in that moment, she reached for that sidebar. So if mama can reach in her state right now and be determined that she's got to do something, what more can you do with 2 feet, 2 legs, arms, hands, a mind to work, to be able to move and do? And even if you have limitations, you can still do something with your voice, with your heart. You can do something. And as a mama reminded again, it reminded me that God gives us the power, again, to choose movement over stagnation. We got to do something. We got to do something personally, professionally, and even spiritually. So it's up to you to decide what you need to do. I'm just here to encourage you to do it. I'm just here. I'm passing along Mama's words to you. Again, I am her voice. And I wanted to share her words with you today. You just gotta do something, So what I want to ask you now is, what's that one thing you'll do this week that aligns with where you're headed, not where you've been? Because we can look in the rearview mirror all day long, can't we? However, what makes a difference is looking forward and not backwards. That's the difference between movement and stagnation. Stagnation means we're thinking about what we could have done, should have done, didn't do, wanted to do, regrets, all those things that we have no more control over. I have them. And I do my best to live my life with no regrets. However, there are some. But I'm choosing not to focus on that. Learn the lessons from those regrets, right? But I'm choosing to move forward. I have to stand strong, not just for me, but for my mama, for my children. I have to be the role model for them. Even though my son's 34, my daughter's 22, I've got to be it. And so with that being said, what I want you to think about is Mama. I want you to think about Mama. And even in her silence, she taught me the loudest lesson of my life. And that is, as long as there's breath in my body, there's purpose for me. And we've got to do something. We've got to. You've got to do something. So if this spoke to you, I want you to share this message. And if you are a coach who is looking for a community where it's safe, where you can build, grow, and scale your coaching business, we have a community that's a private community for coaches. And if you're interested, you can DM me your email, and I'll be sure that you are invited to the private campus. We call the Powerhouse Coach in Motion campus, right? And I will invite you to that campus. So remember, you just got to do something. I thank you for your time, and I am looking forward to going live and not being so nervous. However, I pray that what I said today and shared today blessed you. So have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.